In Modern Warfare 2, I've been playing a lot of Hardcore Shipment recently to level up my pistols because I'm going for the Orion camo. And it made me start to think about the visibility in Call of Duty recently and why I think it's awful. Playing Hardcore Shipment really got me thinking that the number one issue with visibility is the fact that the factions suck in Modern Warfare 2. The number one reason I think they suck is because from a design standpoint, there are no differences between them. They wear the same colors, clothing, and if the diamond above their head was gone, I doubt you could even tell the difference between the two factions. And I could definitely see this also being an issue when Modern Warfare 3 releases in I think November, because it's just going to be carrying over the operators and blueprints and stuff from Modern Warfare 2 into Modern Warfare 3, so it's basically just going to be Sledgehammer's take on what Infinity Ward just did. So I have a feeling that this issue is going to carry over, but of course the game's not out, so I can't say for certain. Now, I will say, modern Call of Duty that I think does the factions well is Cold War, because there are stylistic differences between NATO and Warsaw Pact. The big difference being that NATO wears more blue, Warsaw wears more red. They also do wear sort of different clothing, like they don't really look the same like they do in Modern Warfare 2. So there is an example in modern Call of Duty of it being done right. And old school Call of Duties never really had this issue because the factions looked stylistically different too. And it also had the added bonus of having no unique operators like the newer Call of Duties do. So even less colorful Call of Duties like the Modern Warfare 3 that came out in 2011 have better visibility than Modern Warfare 2, even though both games are color palette wise pretty gloomy and bland. And to use a out of Call of Duty example, I think the tactical shooter game Insurgency Sandstorm has better factions than Modern Warfare 2 because the factions actually look distinct, except when you customize your character. But if you customize them to look like the other faction, you will get friendly fired upon. I've done it to people on accident. Now, the next thing that I think really hinders the visibility of Call of Duty, and I hope this gets changed in the next Call of Duty game, but we'll see, is the diamond indicator in Modern Warfare 2. It is just inferior to the enemy tags from the older Call of Duties, since it is a smaller indicator, making it harder to see. And it's especially terrible at close quarters, since you could literally not see it at all. I kinda hope Call of Duty goes in the way of the outline system, because I think it is a far superior indicator system, and we see this type of system in games like Halo Infinite, the X-Defiant Beta, Rainbow Six Siege, and Apex Legends used in some form. I think where the outline system would be great is the fact that you have some operators that tend to blend in better into the environment than other ones, which in my opinion gives people a competitive advantage. Because let's just be real here, an operator wearing black or gray or any sort of dark color that can make it harder to see on certain maps is going to have a competitive advantage over Nicki Minaj. But if we had the outline system, that wouldn't be an issue. And I personally love the outline system. And another thing Call of Duty can do is just to go back to enemy tags from the older Call of Duties. I think this would help the issue, but it wouldn't solve it completely since operators in Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone at the moment use the same colors as the maps they play on. A good example is the Black Noir being harder to see on Shipment and Lighthouse because the Black Noir is wearing all black and the maps are dark. I mean, I'll be real with you guys on this. I use the dark toned operators too. I'm not about to go out with the Nicki Minaj skin that's wearing all pink. I'm gonna get spotted a mile away on that skin, and that's gonna give me a disadvantage that I otherwise wouldn't be having if I was wearing like the Black Noir or just any other dark toned operator. And I already talked about it a little bit, but the last issue that I don't think is necessarily the biggest deal is just the fact that the operators tend to blend into the environment because of the lack of color. Color in Modern Warfare 2 is just very bland. Most of the maps and operators use the colors of black, gray, tan, and green, or any variation of those colors. But I will say that I think the least used color in that palette, the Modern Warfare 2 bland palette, is probably green, because if it was more green, it would make the ghillie suit operators way more useful in my opinion. If we had a jungle map in Modern Warfare 2, then the ghillie suit guy would be pretty OP in my opinion. The reason why the operators and the maps tend to blend into each other so well is just because of how good the lighting is in Modern Warfare 2. It's just a failure to put proper visibility into the game, and there's multiple ways of doing it, but I think the most simple solution is just the outline system. That to me is probably the best system they could put. and they wouldn't even have to change anything else. And I do think because of the blending of operators to maps, I think you do get pay to win bundles like the Black Noir, which will give you an environmental advantage in games just because he's harder to spot. And I'm not gonna blame the customers. Like, if you bought the Black Noir skin, it's not like you're supporting pay to win. It's just bad game design, in my opinion, from Activision. And there are simple solutions that I've listed that can fix this. And I think the easiest solution without changing the enemy indicator, like the diamond indicator when you're zoomed into an enemy or anything like that, would just to make sure that the factions stand out. Like, give them unique colors that are not used on the maps as much, like they do in Cold War. Cold War, I think, is actually a pretty decent example. Now, is Cold War perfect? No. But it's better than Modern Warfare 2. And to be honest with you, I don't even know the difference between the factions. Like, it might as well just been like Vanguard, where there's no factions and everyone just uses the same operators. But I do hope they don't do the Vanguard thing. I hope they go more towards Cold War, especially when they have special operators that you can buy in the store. They need to give them a color design, or just give them something to let you know what faction they're a part of. But I mean, what's the point of factions if you can't differentiate between the two of them? And I know I've kind of treaded this ground before, but I kind of feel like I've hit the target way better than I did the last video, even though I do think my last visibility video is good. And the main reason I made this video is because Modern Warfare 3 hasn't released yet, and since a lot of things are going to carry over from Modern Warfare 2, and I'm pretty much thinking Modern Warfare 3 is just going to be kind of like a $70 DLC that is just going to be more fast-paced, I'm feeling like the same visibility problems are going to be in Modern Warfare 3, but I hope there are at least some minor visibility issues that get resolved. I hope Sledgehammer sees what Infinity Ward did and just says, okay, let's not do that. Another reason I made this video is because some people disagreed with me on my Call of Duty is pay to win video, and they adamantly were telling me about how there was no visibility issue or I need to get my eyes checked. So I hope this video helps clarify why I think the visibility is bad, so it's easier to understand the pay to win video. If you disagree with me or if you agree with me, please let me know in the comments. I like to have an open discussion, and
I'm sorry, sir. It's time for you to leave.